9 years of success, a 100% success rate with limited data, and a very long-term time frame setup that we have on the chart right now. This is a pretty big one. I'm very excited for it. If you are, do me a favor and smash up the likes before we get into this. What I want to cover with you is a very long-term look at something that Bitcoin has actually been able to use to form reversals in the market previously. And this is really, really important for a few key reasons that I'm going to discuss with you. This is a chart showing you what Bitcoin managed to pull off from 2014 to 2016 with a downward sloping support line flipping into resistance and then crucially back into support in order to end the bear market, which kind of started at the very beginning of the bear market and took us right up to the end. This final instance right here where we managed to first find support along this line for 1 whole year and then resistance for like 9 months and then finally find support on the same line again was what ended the previous bear market. On this occasion right here, we have the same support line starting from basically the beginning of the bear market, finding support consistently until we start finding resistance when we fall below the line. This is where it gets really scary, right? Because when we lose support levels and then flip into resistance, people start absolutely losing their shit. But then we manage to get above it and take a look at this. It's hard to see because we're on the weekly time frame, but you can just about make out that the market came back down to get a back test here and then shot up. We are doing the same thing right now. We have the same downward sloping resistance line, albeit a little bit limited here because this range only lasted like 90 days if I'm not mistaken, but we consistently found support here even down to this occasion right here, and then when we fell below it we found resistance here, and now we are again finding support at the very same price level. Now I love this. If something like this plays out, just as mental math, just for fun, if something like this did end up breaking out and we formed similar kind of rallies, it's kind of crazy to say, to be honest, to what we saw previously, we're looking at, I mean, this was like a $3,800 Bitcoin right here. We're looking at like, $3,800 to $14K. It's basically like a 5x increase, right? A little bit more than that. If Bitcoin manages to pull something like that off now from 20K up to, a 5x increase will put it at 100K, we are looking at a crazy, crazy rally. Now, the coolest thing I want to show you before I get on with this video is that if you use my sign-up link to Bybit and my sign-up link to OKX, you're going to have potentially up to $50,000 in rewards, which you can actually put towards the market as well. So there's a huge opportunity here for you where if you want to trade something fucking ridiculous like this, like absolutely insane, but you want to do it without risking money, you want to do it without actually using your own cash, Bybit and OKX are offering you opportunities to do that risk-free, which is super, super cool. On OKX, you get up to 10K just for signing up. And after you deposit and trade a little bit, you can boost that by 10K again. Prime XBT, just to sweeten that offer a little bit more, is giving you $7,000. Check them all out with the links in the description down below. That is a lot of free cash for you to throw into the market. And the reason that something like this is actually so convenient is because we formed it over the last few bear markets. Now, the key limitation here with this analysis is that there's only 3 bits of data, right? I mean, that's why I said limited data set. We can't say that this has happened the last 5, 6, 7, 8 times. This has only happened 2 times previously for Bitcoin, at least according to this chart. It might have happened in Bitcoin's history before 2014, but Bitcoin is just too small. We don't really analyze anything, sub 2014. It's just not really relevant in my opinion. At least for the most part, there are exceptions. But what we had right here was, a very, very similar setup to last time. I'm sorry, to 2018, 2019 as well, which is just a very compelling image, when we start to see the same kind of things repeat for Bitcoin. Because you guys know the deal, right? Bitcoin, and I've said this for a while, if you've been subscribed, you're going to be very well aware of this, is that Bitcoin loves to repeat similar characteristics, right? Bitcoin doesn't necessarily mirror what it did in the past, although in this occasion it kind of does. But it actually, a lot of the time in my experience, it loves to kind of repeat history a little bit, or like rhyme with history. That's what I meant to say. It likes to rhyme with history a little bit. So, the fact that we're seeing this right now, I think is very, very promising. What I also like is, again, this just kind of lines up with the other long-term analysis I was giving you. Now, if you're subscribed, you got the bell icon checked and everything, you would have definitely not missed my upload where I covered this chart with you, and where I also covered the Williams percent range indicator. So again, if you want me to make a video on this, just drop it as a comment and tell me that you want me to make a video on this kind of indicator here. But the way you can visualize it is it's just kind of like another version of the RSI, right? That's how you can visualize it. And what I think is particularly interesting about this that I covered with you in the last video is actually not on this chart. It's actually to do with how Bitcoin, with this indicator, has reached oversold levels and then managed to come out of oversold levels within very similar timeframes. Take a look at this chart right here, where on this occasion, during this bear market for 2018, I don't know why I said 2018, for 2010, 2011, our bear market with our oversold Williams percent range indicator lasted 305 days. Like from the point that the Williams percent range indicator went oversold up to the point where stopped being oversold, took 305 days. On this occasion, 304. On this occasion, about half of that, 182. And on this occasion, 306 days. We are now back into basically neutral territory according to this indicator, which is very, very compelling. Because what we have on this chart, basically, as far as like what I'm seeing here, guys, is a setup where Bitcoin is at a similar point to where it's been in the past, where it really started to lift off. Now, this is coming at the very same time where inflation data that we know we've been looking at has also started to reel in a little bit, right? I mean, we're seeing that inflation isn't actually so bad compared to where it was before, and that is a really, really exciting prospect, because if we've got inflation starting to come under control, that might mean that interest rates come down, or it might just mean at least that investor climates become a little bit more palatable, right? I mean, it's more the investment climate is a little bit more palatable. People are just more inclined to spend their money. And again, it's just all these things that are coming at the same time. It's the fact that we've had a similar amount of days spent in oversold territory. It's the fact that we've got the exact same fucking pattern that ended the previous two bear markets. I mean, the exact same pattern. Again, another limitation is there's just not that many support hits, right? I mean, if you look at what happened previously, that's 1, 2, 3. They're also very nicely spaced out. On this occasion here, it's just a bunch of support hits and then nothing, and then one support hit, and then we crash. So I don't know. We only really had 2 hits on this line. This was in itself a lot of hits. I don't know if you want to count this. Honestly, I think it's fine enough to count. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Not ideal, but definitely not a huge problem. But then we got the same resistance hit, and we got the same back test as support. And again, it's just, when we see all these things coming together, look, I would love to be bearish, because I don't, but whatever. It's I guess whatever. There's some appeal in being bearish. You at least, bottom line, I'm really gonna piss off some people with this. You feel like you're protecting yourself from pain. You might not be, but you certainly feel like it. But at the very same time, there's just so much from kind of completely different angles that point to, maybe not a bull market, right? We might not break 60K. We might not reach $100,000 and, basically 5x where we're at right now, right? I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but for a bit of a mini bull market, every sign is there. And think about it, if you really are bearish, if you really are particularly bearish, wouldn't it make sense that within such a heavy downtrend, we have a nice big rally to the upside and then smash that shit back down again, right? Wouldn't that make sense? Just in terms of what Bitcoin kind of does? If you really are bearish, if you really are thinking that, you probably wouldn't be around by this point if you're one of these guys. But if you're one of the guys that thinks that we're going into a long-term depression, everything's going to be shit, it's like 1920s in the US again, then was it 1930s? I don't know, whenever the Great Depression happened, if you think that that's what we're going to be looking at, then it kind of makes sense that we get another rally to the upside, which ends up failing, because that would really, think about what that would do to investors, right? This is just Bitcoin we're talking about, but if Bitcoin does that, we'd probably see something similar with the S&P 500, for example, right? So let's put it with the S&P 500 here. What would that look like for the S&P 500, where we set this massive top up here, get a big drawdown, and then we just kind of rally up, get kind of close to that high, and bam, we fall down again very, very harshly. If you really think we're going to be in a long, bad, shitty winter for a very long time, this almost kind of fits in with your case anyway. I'm not trying to convince you of anything, bullish or bearish. That's not my job here. But what I'm seeing here looks really, really compelling. And the fact that Bitcoin has been able to use this previously, and is now doing it's so similar. It's honestly, it's ridiculous. It's so similar. This very much this has very much grabbed my attention. So I'm liking the look of it, and what I really like is that you guys have amazing opportunities to take advantage of it. Bybit heading on up to the rewards hub, bam, up to 30K in deposit bonuses, $3 to begin with, and up to 30K and pretty much everything in between. Very, very cool. OKX up to 20K in rewards, and Prime XBT again up to 7K in deposit bonuses. Very, very cool offers here, and this is all just free stuff. With the free cash you're getting with some of these offers, for example, you can just throw it in the market and do whatever you like. And, you know, if you were to do something like that with Bitcoin, for example, if I were to do something like that with Bitcoin, for example, you know, I'd be looking at, you know, kind of, again, maybe an entry at like 21K, basically right where we are now, maybe even right now. It doesn't really matter because I'd be using very low leverage. If I'm targeting something stupid like $100,000, I mean, you know, it's risk free. It doesn't matter, right? I mean, like, it's money that they're giving me for free. You know, I would in itself is, you know, basically nearly 5xing my money. You know, but slapping a little bit of leverage back. I mean, I wouldn't be totally opposed to, like, you know, 3x or something like that leverage, right? I mean, if we look at, let's just draw that line real quick on this chart, just to see exactly where that puts us. I believe this was on the linear chart, although I might be wrong about that. No, this was linear. So we're more or less looking at a line a little bit like this. You know, I mean, the support level here is at about 21.7. It doesn't matter. I mean, buying here would definitely make sense to me anyway. We're definitely close enough. But let's say, you know, I mean, I could put my stop loss comfortably. Like, I mean, you know, how many percentage points lower? It doesn't, you know, I mean, wow, there's a lot of room here. I mean, you know, this is I feel like my stop loss could be here at 20.7, but if I wanted to be extra safe, 19.8, pretty good, minus 8%. I can comfortably use 2x, 3x leverage on a move like that. And if I'm targeting, you know, like my target that I've been telling you guys is 30K, 40K, right? So, you know, low leverage long from here up to like 30K. I'm still making, you know, 50% on its own, right? If I just bought Bitcoin, but with a little bit of leverage, I mean, a small amount of money, nothing crazy, just a small amount of my portfolio, slap on 2x, 3x leverage, I'm doubling my money at least, you know, with this kind of move. And that's only if we go to 30K, right? If we actually end up going up to, you know, 40K, which I've been saying, you know, again, without leverage, I'm nearly doubling my money, but with leverage, it turns into, you know, 160%, 240, crazy money, more than doubling, you're tripling, in fact. Just insane game. I mean, the price range is huge to begin with, you know. But if I'm basically saying that Bitcoin here is likely to do what it did the previous two times because it's formed exactly the same fucking pattern anyway, this is a really nice setup. So I like it. I like what I'm seeing here. And it's just another one of those things that is exciting me. So if you find this exciting, if you find it interesting at least, do me a favor and smash up the likes on this YouTube video. Double check that you're subscribed. You got the bell icon checked as well, so you don't miss out on this very time sensitive content. And check out these amazing offers from Bybit, OKX, and Prime XBT. That is 57K stacked in bonuses, guys. That is absolutely ridiculous. And if you want to jump into 𝗙𝗪𝗡𝗪's VIP group, see what I'm doing behind the scenes and all that good stuff, then what have I done? Then come over to these steps on screen right here. There you go. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Fairly quick. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you want more short videos as well. I can pump out a lot of videos like this. So if you like it, let me know and you'll see more. And with that, I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.